So let me just make sure we're kicking it in the books. Boom. Live. Send this on my TV so I can see some chats. Boom. Exit. Send this to my chats. Bam. Play. That's what I want. Make sure I was live so I could see my chat still rolling there too. You never know nowadays. I got some good news. I got some news I'm gonna break tonight. I ain't told anybody yet, but got some new news we're gonna break. Got a really good. I don't need these anymore because I ain't talking to no one else. Just got off with Day for Justice, and she got a big day tomorrow, so she's trying to get all prepped and get some rest. She's been working hard, so I was gonna come on, do a little recap from our interview, talk about some new stuff that I've got, talk about a new exciting interview that I've got the go ahead for. I can go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. I haven't got the exact timing and when I'm gonna get that. I mean, I haven't got the exact date and time it's going to happen. Hopefully it happens tomorrow, but it's like Christmas holidays. So it's so hard over the next 3 days for my schedule, for everybody's schedule. So I'm trying to grab an hour from, somebody who's busy, and trying to get an hour with someone that's busy can be more difficult. But the good news is corporate has signed off, and now we're just working out the details. So we've got one of the leading reporters from the Austin area who was kind of boots on the ground. So it's going to be a Sam. There you go. Jamie's got me on the big screen. That's funny. Somebody sent me their. Somebody told me I'm on their 70-inch at the house. So they ain't got no Inside Edition on, but they got me on the 70-inch. Tomorrow, Day for Justice will be featured on the Inside Edition tomorrow night. So she's going to be interviewed on Inside Edition about the breaking news and the case, how all that kind of unfolded. Who knows what they're going to talk to her about. That'll be a great deal. So Merry Christmas to all. Click, click, boom. Haven't been online. Oh, I could do this. I forgot. We're on Streamlab. We can show your beautiful chats that you send, like that one. It has been. This one's been a roller coaster. This one's gonna go. It's like for Jay. It's the craziest case she's worked on, and then just be able to see that with her. She told me about this case again. We were on a live on Sunday. It's been 10 days. That's the title of this video. It's not clickbait. We're going to talk about the last 10 days. We're going to talk about everything that's happened, everything that's unfolded, give a complete rundown of how we got to here today, day 10 in this case. It's pretty crazy because you guys, a lot of you have been following cases. For me, I only had one to go by, the Kelsey Barrett case. And so it was a roller coaster for sure, because I was local, going to all the press conferences, going to all that stuff. But it took them like 20 some odd days, 21. And no, it took them a month to do a search warrant and get an arrest, but they didn't really have any info. Chris Watts confessed in a day. This thing has played out over the last 10 days. We have some info, but we don't have a lot of info. And I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, we'll talk about some rumor stuff. I'm going to address this rumor now about a second person in custody. People have been talking about it. We've heard maybe there's a second female in custody. Maybe there's a second male in custody. We know that Chris was held and questioned in custody, but then was released back and let go home. it looks like Chris was out of town when all this stuff went down. But the second person in custody, two things that could be happening. One, second person in custody could be flipping the witness, could be a witness flip, you know. Witness flip on Megan, or a witness. It could be the other way around. Who knows? Megan's only been charged with kidnapping and tampering with a corpse. There's just a lot of speculation around different rumors. We've heard today, I've heard about the black SUV and different, you know, how that's going to play into this, or does it play into it? We got real lucky. We got real lucky with finding out about Megan so quickly. That just normally wouldn't have happened. Law enforcement would have normally kept that information, and even the news media wouldn't have let that information out until law enforcement verified it. So even a lot of news organizations are saying that they have a woman in custody, they have a woman in custody for this and that, but they hesitated at first to use Megan's name and to go into that because they have to verify with law enforcement. So this is one thing I'm going to talk about with hopefully tomorrow. It could move past the holidays, to be honest. It depends on, she seems pumped to do it right now. Oh, she just texted me back. Let's see when we're going to, maybe I can make the announcement right now. They call me dad with the phone for a reason. We're going to do a phone interview. I was going to try to get a video interview, but it looks like her schedule, it's either going to have to be like at midnight tomorrow night or earlier in the day. So I'm just going to do a phone interview with her. I can still, I can knock it out the park with a phone interview. Let me know what time you have available in the morning. I'm getting that interview locked in. As soon as I get it locked in, I'm going to tell you so you can make plans. Looks like it might take place before 2:00. I'm going to do it before 2:00 tomorrow. I think that's the best thing because the holidays, it would be cooler to have her on video and talk to her, but I think it'll be cool. It'll be cool to do it just on the phone. That's why they call me dad with the phone. So that's how we roll. So that's locking in. And to explain who this is somebody with one of the major affiliates there in Austin. She was on the ground first thing when all this things unfolded. She was at the house in Houston. She's covered it. I'm trying to figure out. So 8:30, so that would be 7:30 my time. That works. Austin Central Time, right? So I'm about to tell y'all when. Y'all be tuning in early tomorrow for Dad with the Phone. So Austin is Central Time. So yeah, we'll be early. talk with you then. Boom, put my number down. Boom. Better get up early, kids. Better make you some coffee in the morning. I'm gonna go live before she has to go live on the air. So we're gonna we'll do, it looks like, any new news. Yes, we got new news. We're coming. It looks like you better set your alarms, kids. Or you can check the replay. Either way, it'll be a good one. I'll probably I'll do it live. Mike, I believe once all this settles down, we're going to see the death penalty case in Texas. We might. Texas likes to give the death penalty out. So I have just booked an interview with Melanie Barden, not Bernard. I better not call her that. Melanie Barden. And I'll tell you who she is. She's CBS Austin reporter. So she's with the CBS affiliate out of Austin. I understand your time is valuable. Perfect. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tune in to Dad with the Phone, the early show with Dad. We'll be talking to some news affiliates out of Austin. Get the breakdown on what they can give us. You know, they're not going to be able to. We're not going to. This isn't going to be speculation with news media. It's going to be talking the facts that have been confirmed. Now, they know all the speculation that's flying around on social media, but we're going to flip it on them. They've been reaching out. So like they reached out and they've been reaching out to Jay for that whole thing. My flip side of this is I look at it this way. I need to start building a rapport with the media around the country if I'm going to follow these cases, because they are the most consistent boots on the ground at these cases. Now, I have just as much access to every Tom, Dick, and Harry on social media, Facebook groups, this, that, and the other. But when I have got my report, and it's already started like this, when I got 2 others that just can't do it through the holidays. They already just told me we won't be able to do it till after the holidays. So I haven't really talked about it. I've been talking to her since day one, and I'm just beginning to build a rapport with these news media organizations, because, you know, the one constant in this is social media is not going away. Traditional media is not going away. And those guys are going to be on the ground in every city. And there is a Melanie in the next city where the next case is. There's a Sam. By the way, if anything happens, if there's any Milwaukee cases, listen, this is a call out to all my followers, anyone who's a sleuther. If a Milwaukee case drops after January 1st, you freaking call me, because I got boots on the ground in Milwaukee. Now, he ain't gonna be able to run around and do stuff for me, but if Sam picks up a case and I need to ask Sam about a case, or if I need to find out some information about local Milwaukee something, we got man on the ground. Now, he don't owe me any favors. He ain't like he's a friend is what Sam is. So you get friends like Melanie. Perfect. 7 o'clock, kids, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, right here on Dad with the Phone. We're going to, again, talk to boots on the ground, verified information. They can't be speculating. They're not going to be putting speculations out. They're going to be giving us verified information. But I got a couple. I'm not just attacking this case that way. I want to look at how social media is playing an influence. And so we're going to talk to them about that. We're going to talk to them about how they've seen this case explode on social media and become national news all over. Good Morning America in the UK. It's hitting Australia. It hits Inside Edition tomorrow with J is for Justice. And so the why behind all that. You guys were with me. If you haven't already heard my interview with Sam, Sam was kind of like a post Patrick Frazee wrap up, talk about stuff. What I'm trying to get now is someone maybe that we can follow all the way through. Maybe we do another podcast with her after a first court date or after everything's come out. So I'm giving you my strategies right here for all you haters, for all you lovers, why I'm doing this and kind of flipping this backwards. And not everybody's going to be able to do this. They're not just going to agree to do interviews with every podcaster. So I feel humbled to be able to do that. And as we work through these true crime stuff, I think this is going to be a valuable source of information, and it's gonna work out good for us. So, boom, Jay just saw the report. What report are we talking about? What y'all got? The mainstream media news, no matter how biased they may be, are realizing that social media platforms are the future of real-time news reporting. They have a handful that work for them, but YouTube has many. Absolutely. 6 billion people in the world we can pull from. Yeah, man, I'm hitting 7 a.m., kids. It's an early morning, but you got to realize what I'm doing here. Like, tomorrow is the eve of Christmas Eve. If she would have done this at midnight tomorrow, she told me, she says, I can do it after I get off work, but she didn't get off till way late. And that ain't too many variables. I got her first thing in the morning. I got her fresh. She's going to be fresh off the first pot of coffee. It's going to be just a coffee chat with Dad. And so we're having a little coffee chat. Maybe we'll start a little fire, have a little coffee chat with Dad. That's what I probably going to be the so get your coffee ready. So that's just it. I'm letting you guys know we'll be hollering you with you. Christy, you gonna get up early with me and mod over here at 7. All my mods are gonna be asleep. They're gonna be like up all night doing drama, and then they're gonna be asleep come 7 o'clock. It's gonna be the rerun show. So it's gonna be the most. Let's put it this way: these guys, they go out, they spend all day, they spend all week, they're following this story all week, and they get 90 seconds in mainstream media. They may get 2 minutes or 3 minutes if they got a viral story. I got this. I'm going to have her for an hour and a half and get to pick it out. So I'm happy about that. That's why it's important to me. And I hope you show up and take a listen. What do we got going on in Chitty Chat? Chitty Chat. DWAP is Mountain Time and the reporter is Central. They are doing an interview at 8:30 Central Time. No. He's going live. Oh, I'm going live at 8 Central. Yeah. I'm doing the interview at 8:30. Yeah. How do you know all this shit? Did I already say this? I must have said it out loud. Yeah, I'm going to go live at 8 Central Time, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. She'll jump on at about 8:30. We'll get the resume out of the way. We'll find out a little bit about her, find out about how she got into this, why she got on the case, how many cases she's worked, all that about her. We'll kind of get to know her, find out what she knows on the case, and go from there. Again, just building blocks, kids, building blocks. Trying to build the blocks. I don't know about the 7 o'clock stuff. I'm gonna have to replay it. I'm gonna play it live, pull it, and then replay it for all my laters, so I can sit and chat with them, chit chat about what I should have asked her. Are you going to sleep? She going to sleep. Is that a sleepy? Is that Christy going to sleep? Go to sleep. It will be 6 a.m. Pacific time on the West. Wake up with Dad tomorrow. Get your cup of coffee set. Set your alarm. Jay said, what your time zone was in her stream before. Oh, we on it. I got you. You doxing me, huh? I say it all the time. I missed it. Who are you going to be interviewing? We'll be talking with one of the mainstream media reporters who's been following Heidi's case down in Austin. She was boots on the ground, kind of right there at the apartments when it all unfolded. The interviews with Shane. And then it was up in Denver or up in Houston when it went down. Her name is Melanie Barden. You can find her on Twitter and Facebook. She's got a Facebook page. If you go over there, you can head over to her Facebook page right now, actually, and nail it. If one of my Melanie Barden, she's CBS Austin reporter. You can find her on Facebook and be nice and tell her you're looking forward to the interview tomorrow. Make sure she's on her A game. Don't tell her that. Don't make her nervous. Don't get her nervous. She seems like she'll be good. She'll be on top of it. So it'll be a good interview. So let's recap this case. Last 10 days. It's been 10 days since Heidi went missing. And she was found on day 7. Baby is healthy. And so it's relatively a 7-day case. Although they didn't wrap the case up, it's not by any means wrapped up. We still have a lot of information that we still yet to hear about. We have yet to hear who is going to be charged or who will be charged in Heidi's murder. There's rumor out there. There's a couple speculative stories about a second person under arrest. We have done our best to try to find out who that might be. Today, if you didn't get a chance, I just got off a live over at JS for Justice channel, and we interviewed a friend of Megan's. Now, this friend hasn't spoken with Megan in a couple of years, but was a close friend, spent 3 and 4 days a week with Megan, worked with Megan, hung out and had been in that house, had met Chris and had met Heidi. So, you know, it was a very informative meeting in a sense that for all intensive purposes, up until Jake is his name. He's on. You can go check out the show on JS for Justice. Up until Jake kind of like their friendship just kind of grew apart. Up until then, for all intensive purposes, Megan seemed like a pretty average, normal, happy, friendly, caring person. I tried to dig. I poked and I prodded. Like, I didn't let them just, oh, Megan did some cocaine. And we let that fly for a second, and then we came back to it. I was like, well, how do you know Megan did some cocaine? How do you saw her do some cocaine? Yeah, I saw her do cocaine. Okay, cool. Then we kind of moved and figured out, and there were some key things and some people people were trying to figure out. There were some key things that played out in this. Meghan, according to her friend, I don't know how regular, but it was regular enough for her to pull it out in front of him and do a bump, do some cocaine. And she also did it with Chris. And the relationship with them hadn't been very long, hasn't been this crazy long time, couple of years. I don't know the exact number of days and to the month or anything like that. So don't quote me on that, but there may have been some telltale things behind the interview. We didn't really dig into Chris, trying to find information out about Chris because Chris has an alibi. But what we're trying to figure out is how does an everyday, happy-go-lucky, seemingly average woman get to where Meghan is right now? So we were trying to figure out where it went wrong in there, and maybe have gotten some answers on maybe some drug use, but she did get she got in trouble. She got arrested at the job that these two worked together. So she was booked on theft, and she worked at like a check cashing place or a day cashing place or something like that. And she had stole some money and she got that. He didn't believe it, and I don't know if those charges were dropped or how the outcome of that was, but that is public record. But that was after they had kind of started not to talk, or that was after they had not talked at all. And so he quit talking to her in like the end of 2017. So between the end of 2017 and the end of 2019, this seemingly go-lucky normal person. Now we get to the Meghan of today. How did we get there? Couple of things that stood out. She comes from a large family, 10 people or so in the family. I asked him, I said, do you remember and like hanging out with her? You hung out with her, 3 days a week or whatever. Do you remember getting phone calls from family members? Did pick up a phone? Did she take a lot of phone calls from her mom? Did she take a lot of phone calls from siblings? He said he remembers like one brother that she was close with and stuff like that. And so I don't know if I don't know, because maybe she just didn't talk to her family when she was around him, so she could have talked to 100 or all 10 of her siblings for all I know. But he never met any of her siblings, and so he never met any of her family. He'd never hung out with them, but he had gone and hung out with her and Chad. She was a planner, and she had thrown this guy a 21st birthday party. It was like a themed like adult party, and that was one of his like fondest memories with Meghan. And you got to understand, he was Meghan's friend. And again, I kind of prodded, and Jay was there, Chrissy was there, a couple other folks were there, and they were kind of prodding and pushing to try to see if what information they could get out of her and or get out of him. And it was all really good. It wasn't he didn't, there was no speculatory on how she got to where she is today on his part. He was very, very respectful to Meghan, but still was able to offer some insight into her life. And the weird thing was we were looking for a red flag. I was looking, and there is some red flags. There are things. It's not weirdness. It's just it's not weird, and it's but a family with 10 siblings is going to be a different situation I mean, I had 3 siblings. I don't know how many of you guys had 10 siblings, but I can't imagine living in a house with 10 kids. That's a freaking movie. I think that is a movie, like a Lifetime movie or something. So there could have been some stuff. When I'm saying this, I'm just speculatory talking now. I'm not saying that we know this for a fact. I'm saying there's a lot of info there with 10 family members or 10 siblings. I didn't really hear, talk to her family a ton. She was close maybe with her brother. She had family around here, but I never met them. But he spent, 3-4 days with her. And so it's somewhere between the time he was with her and then to today, for all intents and purposes, something changed. He admits this. He says between his time into 2017 and now, that's 2 years, kids. 2 freaking years. And I don't think this was birthed in 2 years. It may have been birthed and never. She may have. I don't know what would make her snap. There's this word, postpartum psychosis, that Jay told me about today in another case back in the 90s, where a woman, she literally pleads insane and is in a mental institution or was in a mental institution, and she was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. So if in fact Megan maybe had a miscarriage or a stillborn or if any of those things, rumors are true, and she had this weird, hormonal psychosis. I don't even think it's hormonal. It's got to be psychological, but it has to be induced by something, right? How could you get like a postpartum psychosis unless it was like an induced state, something that threw you into that state? So I missed it. Where were we going? I'm just rambling. I just rambled for whatever. Drugs. Red Ruby said it's drugs. If it ain't drugs, it's cash. If it ain't cash, it's drugs. These are 2 major motives in anything. Whether the drugs take you down a road that puts you into this situation that you're doing these desperate things, or it's cash for drugs, and you're trying to get there. So, but even her mugshot from 2018 wasn't much changed physically. This mostly happened from 2018 arrest until now. Yes. From the 2018 arrest till now. And somebody said that she wasn't convicted. I actually don't know that. I don't know if she was ever convicted or not. Yeah, if she wasn't pregnant, obviously, Charlie, she can't have postpartum, right? The postpartum psychosis. But if she was pregnant and had a miscarriage and or something like that, which I don't know, this is the speculatory. How do we get to where she's at over the last year, over the last 2 years? Drugs is an easy one. That's kind of the easiest thing. Drugs will make you do some crazy stuff. Especially when this guy said she's a heavy pot smoker. But then, getting into cocaine's expensive. And so if she's buying cocaine, I don't know, maybe cocaine's cheaper down in Houston. Cocaine's expensive drug. It's always been high society, Now crack's another story. If she just be hitting the crack pipe, maybe that's a different story. But he said cocaine. It wasn't like he said she hit freebase some crack, So if but cocaine's making a reinsurgence back into the U.S. I mean, they just busted like a freaking cargo hauler, not one cargo container, like a cargo hauler full of cocaine, up on the East Coast somewhere. And I was like, can you imagine a boat filled with cargo bins filled with cocaine? Damn. And DEA busted that shit. So cocaine's making a resurgence back everywhere. Maybe the prices are dropping. We asked if she had money. We asked if she had money, and for, for his recollection, it wasn't like he even knew much about her family. So what would drive a person seemingly normal in 2000? She wasn't normal in 2018. That's why I would blame the theft on the drugs, right? It's a no-brainer. You steal some money because you need some drugs. That's just about what every drug dealer does, or every drug user does, is steal so he can support his habit. The tale is as old as time. That's normal. Steal a baby, kill a mom for some drugs. Not normal, but I'm sure it's not the first time. I'm sure it's not the first time that's happened. So drugs could be a factor. You should get an interview with Chris Hurst. He seems to like to talk. I give old Chris my number. Tell him, give old dad a call, Y'all message him. Who are we looking at? Oh, I don't know. Somebody sending me I can't be looking at my phone while I'm trying to yawn. Where's my that's what I'm looking for right here. Watch here. Let's look at some chats here. Y'all been screaming at me. If anybody's screaming, y'all put it up right now. I'm gonna see it because I'm looking at chats right now. And that Shane said that he thinks that there's more than one person involved. She literally had this man crying on this call. It was horrible and heart-wrenching. What does let's see here. Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about this crib that she had online in January, and the Craigslist Facebook marketplace is a known fishing hole for anything. It's a known fishing hole for anything. So if you're fishing to kidnap a baby, if you're fishing to do something illegal, if you're fishing to rob someone, if you're fishing to kidnap someone, if you're fishing to abduct someone, the Craigslist killers have been around they got their own name, Craigslist killers, And so the Craigslist idea, or the Facebook marketplace with the crib, is, if in fact the baby's the motive, right? If in fact and for all intensive purposes, she was calling this baby. They didn't take two babies out of that house. They took one baby out of that house. She was calling this baby hers. She was saying she had this baby. So fentanyl. Yeah, but that don't get, let me tell you, you get some cocaine laced with fentanyl, you ain't stealing babies. Let's just put it that way. They are putting you in the ground. So be careful. Be careful out there, kids. The struggle is real. So don't be getting involved in the old white powder lightning because the fentanyl is making why, but they do it. You ain't stealing a baby after getting some fentanyl laced blow. They have her exam in jail that will tell if she ever is given birth, I think. But then again, she can probably refuse. Yeah, they're not gonna get a voluntary pap smear out of her. That's not how it works in jail. They don't just give medical procedures away. She used the crib as a ploy. I know. Very possible. Any new cases on the radar? Well, we're going to follow this one through, but I know that this one's going to take a cold hold for a little bit while they sort out everything, because it's going to go into the court stuff. Oh, what happened? Somebody was talking about, oh no, Dad. They were talking about the charges. Okay, let me see if I can find that. I came in on a secondhand chat. I'm terrible with this. See, I don't got like 30 people working for me like Jay. Jay's got like a staff of 30 folks. I need some staff members. Be looking at chat and be able to text me questions, because you guys' chat flies by so quick. I don't see this stuff. What do we got here? More Abby. Abby says she got case in Bama. 29-year-old Houston, been missing 48 hours from Birmingham, Alabama. People are saying, how did she get her in the trunk? It crossed my mind that if she was in fact drugged, maybe it's possible. The whole thought that this woman sat in a car, like that she put her in the car in the back of the trunk, and she sat there for 7 days, and she didn't do anything with it. That leans towards she didn't plan this out necessarily to go like plan it out all the way through. Like she didn't like write the plan, okay, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Like the other thing that we're hearing, and the reason why the car sat there for so long and like Chris didn't say anything, is that Chris was actually out of town. And I think that's why Chris was questioned and released so quickly, because he must have had some sort of rock solid alibi out of town. Hey, now listen, she wouldn't be the first. She wouldn't be the first to try to pull off a little coffee. You know what I'm saying? Crystal Lee came to Woodland Park, Colorado, and was going to poison Kelsey Barrett. She admits to this. This was her plan. And if in fact you're about to pull off one of these crimes, you're about to do something so heinous, you might, and whether or not she knew about Kelsey's case or not, if she was going to poison Heidi to try to subdue her, the poison coffee is, what mom what mom doesn't need a Starbucks, and what mom doesn't need a Starbucks from your best friend? And if she called her up and said, "Hey, I just pulled into your apartment complex. I know I didn't tell you I was coming, but hey, I got a fresh cup of coffee." We do know Megan was a regular cannabis user. I got nothing wrong with her being a regular cannabis user, but I don't know Heidi's cannabis use or not cannabis use. I'm not going to speculate, but friends for a long time, been around each other. If Megan was free flowing with her drug use around Jake, who she knew for 2 years, she might have been free flowing with her drug use around Heidi, who she known for 24 years. Megan was in no way, shape, or form religious, according to Jake. She didn't have, regular religious practice or anything like that. So she may have been just as free flowing with her drug use with Heidi. And did Heidi go outside to smoke a J with Megan? I don't know. We all speculate she got into the car willingly. We do know that, and so, but she didn't take everything. She didn't take a diaper bag. She didn't take anything that would anticipate any sense of an extended trip. She didn't, if you're gonna go, take your wallet, take your diaper bag, close your door. So it's now one thing we can rest assured of. Law enforcement seems to have this shit under control, and that's more than I can say for other cases I've seen around the country and stuff. And so, I mean, cases falling everywhere. She was breastfeeding, someone said. So, you don't have to take a lot when you breastfeed. You can grab 2 diapers and a pair of wipes and your boobies, you're good to go. You go anywhere. She looks like she's more than weed. Well, one of her maybe Heidi was trying to show her how to in the car. Oh gosh. It very much could be because, oh jeez. Oh man, this is where the crime becomes very personal. It's close. Such a close crime. She didn't stand back and pull the trigger. Jay said Vicky or Jen. Jay said she thought it was interesting that she used the name Luna, and the fake pillows are called moon pillows, the pregnancy pillows. One thing's for sure, something happened in the 2-year period. Something happened, something went down in the 2-year period, and something flipped. A switch, changed over in Megan's life to put her over. Whether it was she was pregnant, she miscarried, she couldn't get pregnant, and so she got jealous, and um Oh man, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart to think about it. It's a tough one, kids. It's a tough one. She just pled no contest. What? She just pled no contest to things she was clearly guilty of. No proof of insurance, no driver's license. She may never be able to admit out loud. Huh. Colorado law. You know what, Katie? You know it's funny. Colorado law stipulates that you have to, if you're going to plead guilty to something, that you have to articulate it, which is crazy. You have to be able to sit up in front of a judge and tell the judge what you did. Like in the this is something I learned in the Kelsey Barrett case. So this was when we heard Crystal Lee she had to stand up before a judge and literally she read a statement, but it was a statement of the crime in which she said she committed, and so she's not going to be able to plead guilty without being able to do that. You have to be able to stand before a judge and reasonably say that you did it. Um, I think in the traffic thing, she was like, "Yeah, I wish I could deal with some no insurance right now. I wish I could just deal with some no insurance tickets right now." CBS Austin has a report on this on their site. Has a report of what? Oh, that she pled no contest. Cool. We're talking to CBS Austin first thing in the morning. If you didn't know that, set your alarms, kids. You're gonna wake up with dad with the phone. Start your coffee off early tomorrow. I know it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm gonna shut this live down at 11 o'clock so that you guys can all go get some sleep because I need to go get some sleep. Um, 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna be going live. Interesting. Are y'all talking in chat about somebody, or is this message just coming to me via somebody's? Trying to no, I can't. Why can't I log to this? Copy. Huh. People are saying to contact this one person. Y'all have to. I'll search this stuff out today. That link's not working. Miss Jamie, the link is not working. I can't see y'all's comments in here. Like I'm using Streamlabs, so I'm missing so many comments. Oh my god. Y'all fighting? I guess somebody's in here. I'm gonna read no weekends for court. Yep. No weekend courts for court. Yep. So she would go into court tomorrow morning if she was going to go be arraigned. She'll probably have to be arraigned on those charges, which is cool. We'll find out about that. Abby says, go back and look at my text from last night. This gets in my head and really bothers me. How do you deal with it? You got to make a joke out about it sometimes. You know what? I had I had something I wanted to do before the holidays, and it probably would have worked out had it not been for some other circumstances. And it's still gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen before the holidays. I wanted to bring on a guest to talk about how to deal with this, like to talk about tragedy in the holidays, because the holidays, man, are filled with tragedy. Everybody has tragedy that surrounds them in the holiday. And so yeah, learning how to deal with this. Somebody said, I'm sure it's the neighbor. I did see that text. I did see that. I understand. I understand what I thank you guys so much for sending me that stuff. I have to work that out. I'm working on it, Abby. I'm working on it. Those things take time. These people are getting inundated, getting inundated with requests to do stuff. Everybody wants to talk to the neighbors. Ask the question in the morning if she knows of next court date. I bet her next court date is tomorrow. Does Texas have a good docket? Can anybody pull up her docket and put her docket in? They might have a court date already scheduled for her. There you go. Yeah. Now, so if you contact these people that y'all are sending towards me and they like, yep, they'll talk, then let's get a time scheduled. But this thing's gonna slow down. I ain't gonna be live video during. I'm gonna live video Christmas Eve, but I'm gonna have to cut it off tomorrow. Like tomorrow night, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I probably won't be back till tomorrow morning. Might be my last live through the holidays. I just realized that. I'm gonna shut this bitch down. Yeah, I'm gonna go cold. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go cold turkey off that with the phone over the holidays. So make sure you go find your YouTubers, and everybody's like, you don't do it, man. Screw all that. You're awesome. Thank you for all you're doing. Jay's killing this case. Jay's on top of it. She tomorrow morning she's doing an interview with Inside Edition. Tomorrow evening that Inside Edition interview is going to air. Bam. I talked about this in the Kelsey Barrett case. It has nothing to do with luck. It has nothing to do with Jay has prepared and has done tons of prep. And just like today, that show that she had with Jake, questions, comments. She knew the rumors and the non-rumors. She addressed this. She is prepared and is ready to go and taking it to the next level. So Jay's just taking it to the next level. And how about the timing? No, I'm not talking about the timing of her phone call. I'm talking about the timing of this situation. How about the damn timing? It's brilliant timing in lieu and in hindsight and looking back over the last couple of weeks of stuff happening in the YouTube world and the true crime community on YouTube. How about the timing? Jay needed something to take her mind off all that BS. It's brilliant timing. Good old true crime case. Get down there and dirty back to where, the last few weeks, Jay's been, she's talked about a case here and there. And she jumped on with me about the Kelsey Barrett case. But to really dig down into a case, this is the first case she's dug down into in a minute. She's looked at cases and done videos. I'm not saying she hasn't been doing cases. Don't somebody take this that way. She got caught up in some of that YouTube drama, And damn if it didn't just take one case to snap her out of it. So she's killing it. So I'm happy for Jay. I'm excited for Jay. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for people who get excited for other people. Shit. You want to get all pissy and send your hate comments. Man, that just makes me more excited. It makes me sad, actually, because this world is infancy. It's infancy. You know, Jay says, I've been doing this for I've been doing this like 8 years ago. We were doing like these little Facebook groups for missing people and starting to get into stuff and discuss. It's baby. She's a baby. She's an 8-year-old. She's an 8-year-old and she's a baby in this industry. And the industry is growing at an alarming rate. And it's going to grow super fast. When I say the industry, I'm talking about true crime things being solved right on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow me at all those places. It don't take long to find that stuff. That was a shameless plug at the end of my show here. But this is partly, to be honest with you, partly my interest in true crime is my interest in to see where it goes. Like, I know the potential. The potential is the obvious. We can change, we can make a difference in cases because we have more resources than every law enforcement agent out there. Now, law enforcement has authority. There's a difference, right? I can't go knock on someone's door to get an interview, but I sure can call a lot of numbers. I sure can squeeze through a lot of places and dig in a lot of Facebooks, right? Law enforcement has authority, but as far as resources, the resources of the world are at work when you're talking about internet sleuthing and internet vloggers that are following these crime stories. They're pulling from every news organization. They're pulling from every social media. A lot of them are pulling from inside law enforcement. And when I say inside law enforcement, I'm not talking about your everyday Joe. I'm talking about your sassy dispatchers that talk a lot at the hair salon. I'm talking about your gossiping jailers that sipped a little bit too much at the local bar or whatever. So information is key when it comes to content, and there is no faster spread of information than online. And the content is the same thing for me as it is for the other organizations, whether it be media or anything like it. I'm not fighting with media. I'm having a meeting with them tomorrow. Y'all can join me at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to kick it off right here on Dad with a Phone. We're meeting with local boots on the ground in Austin. They've been following this case. She's been following this case since it started. And I'm going to talk to her about her life. I'm going to talk to her about how she got into this case. I'm going to talk to her about the facts of the case. This is not going to be a speculation case. She's not going to answer, we're not going to go into speculation. We're going to talk about what are the actual facts that have been reported that journalists can report through these major networks. I will talk to her about how social media has changed the game, what she thinks about it, how they're using it, how many podcasts she's done. I doubt she's done any. I doubt she maybe has. Maybe she has. I'm gonna have to look her up tonight. I'm gonna do a little Googling. I reached out to a lot of the media. A lot of them came back and said, we want to do it. We're getting permission for it, but it's going to have to be after the holidays. She just is willing to go early in the morning and get this first one over with. I'm hoping it's one of a couple we do over this case. Maybe this thing could drag on, the trial, the following of this thing could drag on for years. And so to have somebody local that May is going to follow it through a trial, stuff like that, it's going to be a lot more consistent for me, especially getting some credit bit one. Did you see Abby's post about contacting Chris's Green's neighbor? I got you, Christy. I'm with you. I'm on you. I'm on it. But you know how these people are. You know exactly how they are. You know, you think the neighbor ain't getting contacted by the by the cop collars of the YouTube world. You know, she's having to wade through all these craziers, crazies. So let the holiday season, Dad's got a little bit more respect and calling people on the eve of Christmas. You gotta respect some people. Like the guy Jake. What's cool about Jake? Totally willing. You could tell it. He wanted to talk about it, which is cool. Finding those people willing to talk and that are reaching out and that are willing to talk. All of these people are being reached out to, but I gotta play. I'm a family man, and dude, it's Christmas, man. And so I have reached out. To him. My other one though, Christy, I'm trying to get that other one. Me and you've been trying to nail down. I can't get him to respond. I've hammered him with messages after messages. I'm almost wanting to take that thing down, take that post down, and see if it invokes a response. Like remove his post. So you know who I'm talking about. Hey, by the way, Christy, I didn't get to say this, but damn, when are you coming on Dad with the phone? When you been holding out on me like that? Come on, doing live videos with Jay. Throwing up video, killing the questions. There was a couple of questions. I saw your little freaking brain a rolling when they said, Chris be doing a cocaine, maybe. You were like, oh, maybe this was her downfall. Maybe this guy took her into the spiral. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading your mind, or maybe I'm not. But you were digging. I could see your wheels turning. Damn, killing it. Time's up. She said, get off. I'm grateful for the people I've met along the way. That's so weird. You did a great job tonight, Christy. You might not, do you have any videos up right now, like on your YouTube? Let me see. I'm gonna hit your YouTube. I'm gonna go to your profile real quick and see. Go to channel. Oh, 4 subscribers, but no videos. Subscribe to Christy. I don't know what y'all talking about. She asked, you didn't. She didn't. I don't know. Are you saying she asked? No. I'm confused now. I don't know. Why don't you just come on? I'm getting off. I'm done. Hey, Dad with the phone on Twitter. Dad with the phone on Facebook. Dad with the on Twitter. I'm something else actually. Twitter, I'm Michael E. Dalton. Facebook, Dad with the phone. YouTube, Dad with the phone. Set your alarms. I'm gonna create an event. So if that thing hits you, and Jay asked me. I didn't ask. She asked me to be on. Yeah, she straight up asked me. It was cool. I felt honored because Jay's got momentum, right? And the first thing, what's funny, and this is the cool thing about like Jay. I said thank you to her. I was like, thank you for letting me be on, because Jay's on like the rocket ship, right? She's, as far as all intensive purposes, a YouTuber making it onto the national media circuit. You're just getting in front of more eyes. Like the people who watch Inside Edition are not necessarily the people who are watching Facebook Crime Live or YouTube Lives. And so you get to be in front of an audience that you normally don't get to be in front of. And that's why it rocket ships some stuff up, right? The true comrades of the world, what happens when they catch a rocket ship? no matter what it is, whether it's like a business decision they're making, or it's a by chance deal with the YouTube questions, having people on the YouTube when they catch that rocket ship, the your best comrades, the first thing they do is they turn around and throw their hand out and say, "Hey, you're gonna go on this ride with me." And that that's how I felt today. Like I was gonna come watch the live and sit in there and engage and chat and just enjoy. And Jay said, "Hey, you're gonna come on this rocket ship with me, aren't you?" And so she allowed me to come in there. And panels can be real crazy because you got so many people, you got limited time, and to get questions in and everybody get a chance to talk and stuff like that. I can ramble for an hour and a half and barely take a breath. When you go into a panel, it's a whole nother story. You gotta play, let everybody roll, and you want to hear and listen. And that's what I did. I tried to listen a lot to his answers and the tone. I tried to prod. I tried to get some answers out of him. I tried to get a little juice and try to figure out where we got. But man, I am ever indebted to Jay. And so peace. Thanks, Jay, for letting me come on tonight. Thank you guys for coming over here and spending your time with us on this case as we watch it, look at it, try to find out answers about it. And on this journey, you and I are on this journey, this journey along this woman out of Austin. This is what tied us together, right? You may have been a Dad with a Phone follower before, but we're coming around this case with the common thread, and we're holding on to that thread to see where it takes us. We're like pulling the thread, is it, to try to see where we're gonna get it. So there you go. 7 a.m. That's like 6 hours from now. Get your shit together, Michael. No, it's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can get 8 hours of sleep. Get 8 hours of sleep. If you knock out right now, you'll get 7 hours, 50 minutes of sleep. You'll be ready for Dad with the Phone tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on YouTube and Facebook. We're interviewing the news, and you guys saw the interview with Sam. If you haven't seen the interview with Sam, go over and see the interview with Sam. We're solely where I'm not just I want you to understand, I'm not just attacking, I'm not just approaching this interview strictly about Heidi's case. I'm focusing it to build a relationship with somebody that's local in Austin, that follows cases, that may follow other cases, that may follow this case all the way through, to watch a journey with different reporters, how they're these young internet savvy reporters, the ones that are going to take the chance and come on a podcast with a dad with a phone. I'm interested to see where these go. Like Sam, tomorrow it'll be Melanie. I got a couple more in the works. Build those relationships. It's fun stuff. 7 a.m. I'm out. Thanks for joining Dad with a Phone. Find me on the Twitters and the Facebook. See you tomorrow bright and early. Coffee with Dad. Coffee with Dad. I got to go make that right now.